define spirituality?
Spirituality is so many things. It's a state of mind, and it's also a state of being. And so let's begin with the state of mind. It's not something that you believe in because you're reading it or because somebody told you. It's something that you discover because, and I'm the guru of validations. I love the word validations. I love the students to give me validations. So spirituality is something that you self-validate. How? Through your experiences. It is not something, again, that you embrace because I told you or because you read it in a book, but because you've put it to practice and it validates itself within your own life. An example, you're seeking something, you're pursuing something. If you set enough intention and enough devotion to that, you're going to see it take fruition. Mm-hmm. And how do you know that? Well, you need to try it.
Right.
You need to put it to the test, so to speak. And the important thing about spirituality and validations is that the more you give reverence to them, the more they grow, the more it becomes part of your state of being, mm-hmm. the more you're going to experience them.
Right.
One other thing I want to add about spirituality, which I think is important, it's not a belief system. Mm-hmm. Although right. you could believe, this could be your belief. It's a state of knowingness. Mm-hmm. And again, this happens internally. You know that you've tapped into something. You know that you're vibrating with something universal. Why? I say because you know that you know that you know.
Mm-hmm. Are there other attributes that you mention in your book that can be of service to mm-hmm. people who are just starting out and trying to understand their mm-hmm. spirituality?
Absolutely, and I love that question too. There are 21 attributes in this book. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that there's many more, that we could incorporate into our lives. But if I had to pick one, I would pick acceptance, which happens to be the first one, mm-hmm. just because I alphabetized them, mm-hmm. But acceptance of what, of everything. And that doesn't mean that, that we become a doormat or that, we become a martyr or a victim. But what it means is when we flow with the energy of acceptance, we let go of so much that we're resisting. Mm-hmm. So much that we're struggling with, so much that we're fighting with.
Right.
And so just by practicing the principle or the attribute of acceptance, we let go of a huge energy field mm-hmm. that obstructs us from moving forward.
Right.
My second on the list, which is a must, is forgiveness. Mm. And again, volumes of books could be written on just that one attribute. But something amazing happens when we forgive someone or something or a situation or a circumstance, anything. A great release, again, and these practices can make all the difference in the world in your next experience.
Right. Now, I just thought of something that's kind of intuitive to us because we've been practicing mm-hmm. for, I've only been seeing you really for the past few years. I met you when I was young, mm-hmm. Which we can get into that if you'd like a little bit later. But forgiveness and acceptance, are these things that you act on a real level? Do you have to physically go up to the person and make amends? Mm-hmm. Or is it something that you can do on a soul level?
Mm-hmm. You could definitely do on a soul level, and as a matter of fact, when I had to practice, and some of the books, The Path to Self-Realization, for one, is a regiment book, that has all these exercises that teaches readers how they can go about putting this into practice.
Right.
We don't necessarily have to forgive someone personally, and you know what? A lot of situations will not allow that because there's still stagnation between the person, right. That we're not talking to each other, how am I going to forgive them? It's an energetic forgiveness. And yet, you know what, on the soul level, that person is going to receive it. But it's not so much about the person receiving it, it's about you having the experience
Right.
of releasing what's blocking you.
Right. That just reminded me of another.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people are still new to the idea of Reiki,
Mm-hmm.
how do you, when you become willing to release your blockages, is there like a tool or a way to sort of like physically remove that energy from you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that you can do it on your own, but is it sometimes kind of wise to have somebody help you with that?
Mm-hmm. It could definitely be instrumental, and you know, again, when I had to practice, you know, we would, in the perfect setting, right, we would incorporate all of the above. We would give homework,
Mm-hmm.
and then we would go to the table, and how a healing can really support our own healing is that the God force is always available to us, and usually through a healing, you could facilitate that energy greater. You know, the person is just in a place of surrender, while a healer brings in that healing energy to help move that stagnated energy. But again, willingness is a great protocol, and the homework still has to be done.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Yes.
Right. You can't. Yes, you can't just come
You know, so
to the table and have everything.
I used to always tell people when you know, when I would see clients, healings of their own are not going to heal someone. Mm-hmm. They can actually become a short fix because you're going to feel great every time you see a healer. But if you're still holding on to those old emotions, mm-hmm. guess what?
Right.
The healing is going to wear off, and you're still going to be sitting with those emotions.
Right.
So self-healing through release and through doing homework of, you know, pardon letters, forgiveness practices is really what's going to help.
Okay. Well, you mentioned pardon letters, and I know what that is, but what is a pardon letter?
A pardon letter is an exercise that I developed, which is making a list of people that you feel have offended, hurt you in some way. And you know, that list, of course, can be very lengthy. Mm-hmm. So what I always suggest is you need to pick the top, you know, like the number 5s. Mm-hmm. The ones that really, you know, that you still feel anger, that you think about, and that you feel hurt in your heart.
Right.
Once you've composed this list, then you know what? You start writing a forgiveness letter to these individuals. And you asked earlier, you know, like, do I have to give it? No. This is your work, your healing work. And so you can start writing a forgiveness letter to each one of these individuals. Now, in the beginning, you can be very candid. And so if you want to say, I hate you, right. You hurt me, blah, 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 do all the vomiting that you need to.
Right.
As long as towards the end of the letter, you render forgiveness. Why? Because you have to let it go. Because you're willing to let it go, because you're willing to heal. And there is no way that you're going to if you're still feeling these kind of energies and feelings towards others.
Right.
You know?
True.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, kind of to wrap up and give you a little something to think about, mm-hmm. You know, New Year's just happened, mm-hmm. and I know everybody's making their New Year's resolutions and feeling that they need to make a change in their life or start over. I personally don't believe in starting over. I believe that every experience is layered and that we constantly evolve. Mm-hmm. So resolutions really are just, like you said, not that they're goals, but they're almost, what was the word you used earlier?
Intentions?
Intentions. They're intentions for your new year. So what are some ways to develop a good intention for this new year? Or do you have your own intention that you want to share? Mm-hmm. I'll share mine. Mm-hmm. But you go first.
Well, my personal intention, both for myself and the world, for myself is to continue this amazing work. So spiritual success is my intention, you know, to come out into the masses in ways that I've never fulfilled yet. Right. My intention for the world is to unify, to become a collective group that can cooperate together, harmonize together, and love each other. Unity.
Yes.
Unity. And it's a field that I meditate on every day for the world. And I think that for your viewers, readiness. Are you willing? It only takes a moment. And just like we set resolution, in the beginning of the year, this is my, I'm going to resolve to do this.
Right.
Don't let it be a temporary thing just because we started the new year. Let it be a lifelong intention that you're going to practice because you recognize that you're ready and that you're willing to experience that newness.
Right.
Here's a question. Is it working for you? Is what you're experiencing working for you now? Is it making you feel good?
Mm-hmm.
Is it helping you succeed? And if the answer is no, then you need a change.
Right.
And this is a great time.
Mm-hmm. Mine kind of piggybacks off of the reader's intention. My intention definitely for the new year is, I just started to come out to the masses, but I have to do my own sort of work to master my art or my gifts. And so my intention for this year is really to kind of understand what it is that I'm going to share with the world and to learn how to have a stronger voice and a stronger presence in my own community and my own relationships, and so that I can empower you and empower people my age, and not only my age, to empower women, men, anyone who really is desiring of seeking a change and improving their lives for the better. And I think that this is a lifelong resolution, really. Mm-hmm. This is just kind of a big year, I think, for me and for everyone with all the change going on in the universe. I think it really is a big year.
And as I heard you speak about that, I have to really celebrate you because I have seen you evolve. And as I was hearing you speak, I think that one of the attributes that I see in you flourishing is authenticity. And it's such an important attribute itself. You had many changes in your lives. You had made a career, decision, and suddenly you had an aha moment, right? And that's about being authentic. It was radical, and yet it was very authentic, and it's brought you here. And you're going to be, as you are already, a great messenger to the world because you had the courage to answer that call, that yearning, and were courageous enough to pursue it. And that's what the universe wants to see, that you're willing to take that, to take that stance because it's going to support you. So God bless, I celebrate you and, invite the readers, the viewers and the
both
readers,
I know.
to be inspired by that authenticity. Be authentic. You can't go wrong.
Yes.
And the many other attributes, but they're all very fundamental. This is not, out of range work. These are very simple philosophies that we can put into practice every single day, every moment, but that can truly, truly, truly bring you to a new paradigm of living and of being.
Yes. Well, on that note, I invite you to get that book on Amazon. It's available now. Order one for you, order one for your friend, your mom, for everybody. I think that it's such a great gift to yourself. It's an investment in yourself and for those around you. I want to thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Noel, for allowing me the opportunity, for allowing me to see you blossom. And to the viewers, God bless, and be inspired.
Thank you for tuning in, and as always, go out there and become what inspires you.